Hello everyone and welcome to Get Undressed. Today I have the pleasure of welcoming Sarah.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for being
This is
here.
exciting.
I'm really excited to have you on the podcast as well.
I can't tell you how excited I am that you asked me.
Oh,
I literally love watching podcasts on
Really?
YouTube. Oh, it's all I do.
is
watch
it?
podcasts in the gym on YouTube. And I love watching clips on TikTok. It's like clickbait, isn't it? I just love seeing it.
I feel like it is clickbait.
I'm just like, what are they talking about? I need to know everything.
I love it.
And then I get on that Stairmaster and then I'm like, YouTube, I'm just like, I'm all in then.
You're all in there.
I'm all in there. I love them. So I'm
So-
really excited.
Then today is the perfect day.
It really is. What a dream come true. The sun is shining.
I know. I mean, it was fucking
was
pissing
raining.
down
It has
like
been
a minute ago.
But let's have a positive attitude. It's,
True, lucky girl syndrome. I've seen
Absolutely.
that on your TikTok.
It is, and I do try really hard. I text my friends every day,
Is it?
I text my friends every day. There's a group chat.
Where did you see about it?
On TikTok, this girl was like, I'm so deluded, but it always works for me. Blah, blah,
Is
blah.
it?
So I was thinking, well, do you know what? There are a lot of times where luck has not been in my favour.
Yeah.
But when I am feeling a bit down,
Yeah.
I really just do believe that things are going to pick up for
Yeah.
me. And when I'm so deluded, great things do end up happening. So, I mean, call it manifestation, call it just being deluded. But
Yeah.
you know what? What can go wrong?
Nothing. I think it's easier to be negative sometimes in life than being positive, but being
Yeah.
positive brings on such a different vibe in the room, and it brings on a different vibe to everyone around you, and so people have a
Yes.
different reaction towards you as well.
I think negative energy is so much easier to spread.
Yeah.
Because it's just so easy to be like, oh, I can't be arsed.
Yeah.
Which I do feel all the time. And, 8 times out of 10, I will be like, I can't be arsed.
Yeah.
But actually, the 2 out of 10 times that I say, oh my God, amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I just...
It works.
It works and everyone feels that boost.
It's true.
So when you do it, I think it makes you want to
makes-
say
yeah.
it more.
Okay, so lucky girl syndrome.
Yeah, we are lucky girls.
Yeah.
Good things come our way. And at the cost of nobody else. This is what I say to my friends every day. I text them. There's 2 of them. And I say, good morning.
Good morning, bitches.
I say, good morning, beautiful ladies. Today is an absolutely stunning day. How does it feel to be one of God's favourites? That's one
Oh
of
my
my
god, I
lines.
love this.
So American. How does it feel to be one of God's favourites and at the cost of nobody else?
I can feel like the Kardashians
Yeah, it's just
sending this to
it's
each
like
other.
almost a bit like sarcastic, but like at the same time, like it's still working. It's serving the purpose. So every day I sent them a message, and my friend's going through a really hard time at the moment. She's just split with a boyfriend. So every day I make sure I send her a really positive message.
Are you like every day you're like, he's a cunt, don't
Yeah.
worry. Yeah.
I'm like, I want him dead in a ditch. Dead in a ditch. And I mean it as well. So
So what's your name? What's your
yeah,
address?
exactly. I'll fuck you up, bitches. But
So
yeah.
I kind of want to introduce you
Okay.
because we met on the set of a video clip for an artist that we worked with called Sodi, who's amazing. Shout out Sodi.
Gorgeous girl.
She just released a new song. Everybody go listen to it. It's called Star Potential. And
You're so good.
I
You remember
am.
everyone's songs.
I do.
I do think I'm that good.
Do you know what I remember as well? Who doesn't pay me? Who pays me?
Oh yeah, I remember them. I remember them fuckers.
And so Sarah is a very talented makeup artist.
Oh, that's so nice.
And we worked through those 15-hour days together heavily.
Yes.
So we had time to like
get to know
bounce,
each other.
get to know each other.
Do you ever remember like the first time you meet somebody, like the first few minutes of meeting them?
Yeah.
I remember meeting you
Yeah.
for the first time. I remember exactly what you were doing.
And you know what? I remember walking on that set, and it was with a video director that, I mean, he's really nice. I just never really have the best experiences working with him because we're always so over time and everything. And I remember walking on this set, and it was really hot, like in this place. And I was like,
it was.
oh my God, like today's going to be a hard day. And then we met, and I was like, oh no, today's going to be okay.
Yeah, it was a good day. It was really hot, actually, thinking about it now.
Do you
And we were
remember?
really overscheduled, do you remember?
Like 6 hours.
I remember
Like
being,
6
I remember
hours.
being to you like, Adele, babes, I've got to get back to Liverpool tonight. What am I
Yeah,
going to do?
yeah.
It was that was a bit stressful.
It was stressful.
Thinking about it now.
Yeah.
You don't really remember, I think, coming away. You remember the stress, like, immediately after.
Yeah.
And then when, like, years have passed now, and you kind of just remember like who you met, who you gelled with,
Yeah.
maybe who you didn't.
Yeah.
But thinking about it now, I'm just like, yeah, I can't believe actually how over time we were.
Do you know it's funny because in any other fucking job, like you're 6 hours overtime, people are like, yeah, bye bitches, I'm going home.
I mean,
In
6
this
hours,
job, people are like, am I going to be paid overtime? No, you're not.
I know.
Oh, okay.
6 hours is actually like a day's work.
Yeah.
That's actually like a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Like a 9 to 5. Well, I don't think it. Well, 7 hours is 9 to 5,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So actually, you've just wasted my 9 to 5. My 9
Yeah.
to 4. So get that fire exit door. I'm off.
Yeah.
In the words of Gemma Collins.
Exactly.
But no, you're
Oh my god, she
expected-
started following me on Instagram
No,
the other day.
you're lying. Oh my god, I'd die if you started
I
telling
was
her.
like,
Love it.
how did that happen?
I am obsessed with Gemma Collins' mind, body and soul journey that she's been on.
I love it.
I love it. She's gorgeous. But I remember meeting you for the first time and you were heavily on that laptop.
I am always like,
I was like, this girl's a bad bitch
I am.
and I want to know her. And here we are.
And here we are, years later.
Yeah, it's a good few years later now.
Yeah.
But
Gravity has started to hit on me. I've
And
had a
me.
baby in
But you-
between, like.
I think you'd had a baby.
Did I have? Oh my god!
You
So
were
it
so
was
young.
just after I gave birth. Then
Yeah, I remember. I actually do remember you saying to me, "Oh, I've had a baby," and I was like, "Well, where? Because you're so skinny."
oh my god!
So
my
how?
gosh.
Jealous. And I was thinking, oh, what an amazing woman is she? Like just working.
Oh, thank you.
So how old is your baby now?
3.5, going on 13.
Oh, it's a great age. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Teenager.
He's like, stop touching me. Like, I mean, no. When he says that, it's like I'm like, okay, let's go to bed. And he's like, no, stop touching me. I'm playing. Like, don't take me in your arms. Like, don't give me a kiss or anything. Like, don't like.
He
you
wants
know.
to be independent.
Yeah, yeah. Or sometimes he goes, I don't really like what you're wearing today.
Does he?
Or I don't want to wear that. Or I don't want to do that. Like he goes to his dad the other day. He goes, I'm not very happy with your attitude. I was like, oh my god. And then you have to remember that attitude is coming from your attitude because he hears you saying that.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
wow.
He is a product really already of having parents that are working in the fashion industry.
Yeah. Yeah, his dad used to work in the fashion industry.
I
Yeah.
remember you telling me.
Yeah.
So that is just in him
It is.
intrinsically.
It
I
is.
love it though.
Sarah, tell me how you got into the fashion industry.
So, how did I start this whirlwind of a life that we've got? Well, I've always wanted to be a makeup artist. When I was in school, that was all I wanted to do. My mum and dad were like, that isn't even a job. So no, you can go to university like everyone else. So I did that.
This is the moment you go, it's okay, I want to be a call girl. And then they go like, no, it's fine, you can be a makeup artist.
They were like, you should just be a teacher. Like, you should just go and do English at uni and drama. And that's what you know, that's what you're good at. So that's what you should do. So I did.
Oh,
But
you did?
I did. I listened. So, but there was also not really any makeup schools around.
Yeah.
So there was like, I wanted to be a makeup artist, but didn't know how.
Yeah.
There wasn't a thing really
Yeah.
that I knew of then.
Yeah.
So, let me fix these. So I went to uni, did English, drama, had a ball. But on the weekends, I was doing makeup for people, like self-learning.
Yeah.
Doing like, in Liverpool, that's a big thing, girls going out like looking glam. So I was doing that, did weddings. And then I was like, right, I don't want to do this makeup. I want to go and be like, do like editorial, like magazine stuff, all that. So I went and did, do you know the girls, Pixie Woo? They were on YouTube. They were Sam and Nick Chapman. They were sisters. And they were like the first YouTube, like beauty girls, like makeup girls. They did a school. So I actually saved up, went and went to their school.
Did you feel like you learned?
Yeah, I loved it. A lot of the girls there were like big fangirls. They were like, knew everything about their lives. They were like, do you have a mortgage on this place? How old is your child now? And I was like, what is going on? Like,
This
I
is
just
so
want to,
freaky.
yeah, like I just want to learn about makeup. So every question I asked was like all very makeup related. It was like, how do you move the brush this way? Like, what kinds of products you use for that? I just wanted knowledge all the time.
Yeah.
So I got on really well with them. I think they probably liked that I was...
You were not the fan girl.
I wasn't
you
a
were just
super
here
fan.
for the makeup. Yeah.
And I was good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was skilled. So I did that course, came away, loved it, learnt loads, but still felt like I just needed to do something else. So I went to another school in Manchester, and she was more of a fashion artist. So I started there. And then from that, I kind of just was like in a hub of creative people in Manchester. So then I started working more and more, testing, building up my portfolio, things like that. And then I don't even really know how. Oh, she had an agency, so I joined that agency, and then just started really working in like different like fashion houses, like e-com groups. Really,
was there an industry in Manchester at the time?
Yeah,
because I know
but
now it's
small.
heavily developed with Pretty Little Things, Boohoo, and all of that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely smaller. So Boohoo was always there.
Okay.
And they'd been going about 10 years at that point.
Really?
Yeah, so they've actually been going there for a long time, because now they're probably on about 17 years, I reckon.
I had no idea about that.
Like, I remember ASOS was the other only other e-com site that you could buy from.
Yeah.
So they were the only two, really. So I just kind of started like working with a few of those, but always wanted to do music artists. So then I started working with like up and coming music artists, really, like Sodi, Cara Marnie.
Oh, Cara!
Yes.
I worked with her not long ago on a commercial.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I haven't seen her for a long time. But yeah, so I started doing things like that, and then I just kind of snowballed from there, really.
I think it's funny because you start and then you don't really realize when it snowballs and when it really starts. But then one day you wake up and you're like, hold on a minute, like,
this how is it your life?
Yeah.
It is crazy. You can be a bit like, oh, I never realised that you'd come to this point.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't ever like the goal. You never like started out thinking this is what you wanted to do, and then all of a sudden you're there.
And are your parents still telling you like, I wish you were a teacher?
Oh, absolutely. My mum is like, my Sarah. My Sarah, the makeup artist, to anyone she gets a chance to.
My mum's like, do you have like a leather jacket? Do you have like a pair of trainers? No, I don't really like those trainers. Do you have like different ones? Like, my mum thinks I own a shop.
Does she?
Yeah, I think so.
I think,
and then her friends are like also like, you know, like
on
the sly, like they're like, can you ask her that?
My mum will go through like there's boxes and boxes in the house of makeup. My mum's just going through it all the time. The other week I actually had the biggest argument with my mum.
No way.
Oh, I was furious because I have specific things that I like for me in my makeup kit. Yeah. Well, in my own makeup bag.
Yeah.
Just my own makeup. And I think that's too much to ask. I know I'm a working makeup artist, but not everything is universal for everyone.
No, yeah.
Things are also for me too. So the other week I was looking for an eyebrow pencil. My specific eyebrow pencil. I'm looking around for it for ages, cannot find it. She comes back from a holiday and I literally look inside her makeup bag and it's just sitting there at me. And she's like, oh, I don't know how it got there. I'm like, well, did you go and buy it? No. So you've taken it from my side of this dressing room.
Yeah, but that's a classic.
It always happens.
Yeah, my mum does that as well.
But now she's proud. Is your mum proud?
Yeah, she is. And I think there's this thing that we talked about where her and her friends will talk about their kids and stuff. And her friend will be like, well, you can't really talk about your kids because your kids are doing well. Like, they've got jobs they like they made it in life with what they wanted to do, and they're fine, and they're in good relationships and stuff like that. And she's like, and in a way it's true, but I worked my ass off for you guys to have the opportunity to, you know, to build a life that you wanted. And I helped you, like, she helped us a lot figure out what we wanted to do. So she actually
gave you a lot of time, didn't she? Then that's like one of the biggest things. My grandma always used to say this, you know, like one of the biggest things you can give to somebody, a gift to someone, is their time.
Yeah.
So like, I spent so much time with my grandma before she passed away, which was like amazing. But I think when you feel like you've been given someoyou've time and you've had their time to,
it makes such a difference.
It really does. It makes you feel like, I think it makes you feel like quite well valued as a person. Yeah. You've got good self-esteem, you know that.
And I think there's this thing, nothing can buy time. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't, like, when I was in high school, I had some friends who were like disgustingly rich, but they would never see their parents. And they were always like, they had like it was sad. Like, they were sad about this.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking sometimes, like, I wish we had that amount of money, because it's like, it gives you a freedom that you know, it's you can't deny it. Like,
Oh,
people who are like,
100%.
oh, I don't think about money. No, you don't think about money because you have enough money not to think about money. Like,
Yeah.
if you have to think about the rent at the end of the month, you'll think about money no matter what. Like,
Yes.
and every time someone has told me, oh, I don't think about money, it's always been someone who was wealthy.
Who doesn't need to think
Exactly. And so those friends that I had, some of them were like, you could see they were lacking like a parental presence, but they were given a lot of money, and it's like, you can never change that. And I really value the time that my mom spent with me when I was a kid, and like, she used to take us to exhibitions. She used to, like, she used to do things with us a lot. Now, like, actually today she's with my son. He's in the south of France with her because she lives there.
Oh,
and
gorgeous.
They spend time with him, and the whole day they do things with him. And they
it's just
don't
so
put him in
enriching.
front of the TV. They go to the beach, they go play, they go gardening. Like,
That's so
you know,
lovely.
like, they do loads of
It's
things.
just so much better for you as a child and as a person.
Yeah.
However old you are, really.
Yeah.
Just to actually feel like your life has been enriched in that way.
Yeah. And like, I think it's that thing of like feeling that somebody cares about you.
Oh yeah, massively.
So let's speak about the industry.
Oh yeah, let's speak about it, baby. So what can we even go into? There's been a lot of moments.
There has.
It's taught me so much about people and about myself. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah.
I've had clients who, like we've just been saying, really have come from money already.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've had other clients who haven't come from money and had to like really graft to try and make it in like the music industry or like whatever area they were in, whether it was fashion modeling or whatever. And some of the trips that I went on with some of the girls that had money were eye-opening, how they would speak to people. Yeah. So I remember there was this one trip that I was on. It was like a 3-week stint. And
3 weeks?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing for 3 weeks?
It was a tour.
It was a tour. Oh, okay.
So the first night she said to me, "Can you just do my makeup when I'm asleep?" She was like, I've seen a picture of Bella Hadid lying down getting her makeup done asleep. And I was like, babes, you're not Bella Hadid yet. Like, no, get up. Like, you don't need to go to sleep. Yeah. We're on night 1. We've got 3 weeks of this. So get up. And then it was just like pushing boundaries every time. And I think a lot of people not people who've come from money, I shouldn't say that. I don't mean that. But I think there's an attitude sometimes of some people who are quite entitled.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell with how they speak to their teams around them.
Yeah.
But
I think the way you speak to your team shows a lot about who you are.
Yeah. And you know, actually, it's funny because there was I don't know who she was now. I think she was like a lady who did PR. She was telling us a story, and she was saying to us how basically the biggest stars should always get spoken to like they're new, and the newer stars always get spoken to like they're the big celebrities. Yeah. And I thought that's just such an interesting approach, really, because you would necessarily think that the girls that are starting or the artists that are starting out normally get spoken to like shit, and the big stars are spoken to amazing. But actually, she was saying it's the other way around. And I thought, I wonder if that's like the boost of the build up of the boost of the ego, and why maybe it could be. But I remember this one day we were on a train we were in Germany, and I won't say any names, but I remember it was a 5-hour journey on this train, and I don't think we had reserved seats. We weren't sitting in the reserved seat for some reason, but we had to end up sitting in the cafe carriage on the train.
Yeah.
And she wanted to go for a sleep. So she went and found somewhere to sleep, and the train manager came over and said, "You can't sleep there." And she booted off. "What do you mean you can't? I can't sleep here. Who are you speaking to?" And the guy was like, "I'm the train manager. You can't sleep there. Like, this is just reserved for it's not reserved seats. You can't just go to sleep there." And she was like, "You're not the manager. Get me the manager now. You sell crisps for a living."
Oh.
Me and the team.
Sell crisps for a living.
You sell crisps for a living. Me and the team were literally like horrified, didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I remember them thinking, what the fuck is this world that I'm in? Because this is just so not my daily life up to this point.
Yeah. I've had some moments like that where I'm sitting down or I'm in a situation. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I've not signed up. I have not signed up for that, but I'm here.
And that it's almost like anyone else would never believe you.
No
one would ever believe you.
No, they wouldn't. They would be like, well, actually, I've got some moments where I've came home like really late or something, and I've been like, well, I'm late. Like, this happened. Like, we had to wait for someone, and they're like, nah, you just didn't want to like come to the dinner or something like that. I'm like, no, I really sat down waiting for someone for 6 hours because that person just really wanted to go to the gym or something like that.
People literally, when I'm telling them, like, if there's a reason I can't be somewhere, or if something's happened at work, or just if I've missed something, people are like, well, why couldn't you just do this? Why couldn't you just do that? Well, why couldn't you just get up and go? I'm like, you don't get it.
Because you can't just like get up and go, because if you get up and go, then
that's you getting up and going from your career. Babes.
Yeah.
That's how it feels at the time. It's not. But, this one. If you're like getting up and going, that's you getting up and going from your career, or it feels like at the time. If you just like, if you're just gonna get up and leave.
But I think also like sometimes you question yourself. You're like, oh, should I do this job because is this job gonna bring me something? Should I keep on working with that person? Because is that person like? Sometimes people are really hard to work with, and you're like, is it beneficial for me to work with that person on a career level? But how much is it taking off my mental health? Like, how much am I suffering doing this job? And then sometimes I think when I'm in that mindset, I'm like, but I could be working at Tesco. It could be much worse.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, because there are some people who actually enjoy that career, but like, I could be doing something that I don't like, and it would be much worse. So I should take the abuse that I'm taking right now. But then when I look back at it, I'm like, no, I shouldn't have, because it didn't bring anything. And
maybe the day in Tesco would have been nicer. On that day.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you might not want to do that forever, but you also might not want to do this job forever.
Do you see yourself being a makeup artist forever?
Well, I always think that I'm just gonna end up being irrelevant, and like I always think I can't be a makeup artist at 50 because who will want to book me? Like,
but it's horrific because nowadays it's like if you're not Gen Z, you're out.
I'm really trying to be Gen Z.
Do you know somebody the other day was like, so I went to see my plastic surgeon. I was like, I need something under my eyes, but I don't want to do any I don't want to do any fillers because I've had fillers before and I hated it. So I was like, I need you to find a solution really quickly for me that's not a filler. And he was like, well, girl, like, and then he goes, I can make magic. I can make miracles. I can make you look Gen Z. And it hit me. I was like, oh my God, like, he's literally telling me I don't even look Gen Z anymore, Like when you go to the supermarket and they ask for your like ID, I'm like, take it. Take my ID.
It's like the best compliment now, isn't
it? The best compliment.
Do you remember when that was like you were offended that someone would ask for your ID?
Like, I know.
I'm 18. I can't believe you're asking me for my ID. And then now it's like,
do you want it?
I know. Well, so I need to tell you this. Is it funny? Is it embarrassing? I don't know. So my cousin, 7 years younger than me. So she is on the cusp of being a Gen Z girl.
Yeah.
She's fucking fab. Unbelievable body. Like, gorgeous girl. So I'm too old to have a rail card now. But I want that 30% discount because there's no chance that I'm not having that.
Yeah.
So I make her send me over her rail cards and I just Photoshop my face on it so I can get discount.
I love it.
But she's still in the 16 to 25 category, and I was in the 26 to 30 at one point. So I'm thinking if anyone asks me for the rail cards, which no one even does ask for, but I always think they're going to be like, there's no way you're under 25 because I'm not. I'm like 32.
But do you know how many people at Soho House have their card like under 26?
Can they get away with that?
Yeah, they do. They do get away with it. But also, like, can we talk about the amount of people, like, I know people who've been turning 30 for 5 years.
Oh,
like this year is the big 3-0. I'm like, girl, 2 years ago was the big 3-0 as well.
So actually, we're missing a trick then.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm embracing it every year, and I could be going backwards.
I think like I would never go back to my younger years because they were so like some of them were so traumatic. But I think now I fucking struggle with some stuff. Like I'm like, like that weight thing that we used to talk about. Like I could literally lose weight in a minute, or I could go out the entire night and I would wake up and have like 2 hours of sleep and I would look fresh. And I would be like, I'm destroyed today. No, you're not destroyed. Like you look fucking fresh. Like I'll show you what's looking destroyed.
Yeah.
Like when you come out, like I go get my coffee in the morning, and if I don't have makeup, it's like, oh, you look tired today. I'm like, thanks, bitch. Like
I know, what's this all about? I think we need to let's normalize looking tired and feeling tired. Stop telling me I look tired. It's not doing anything for my self-esteem or my mental health. It's already on the fucking floor thanks to working in this industry for the last 12 years. Like, I don't need any more pressure of anyone telling me that I look tired or I don't look myself or I look unwell. Maybe I'm feeling unwell, or maybe I just didn't have 10 minutes to put my makeup on in the morning.
I know, it's so true.
But you know, I really am. I do feel that the not pressure. I don't feel pressure to be young, but I am a bit obsessed with like looking at the cool girls on Instagram and TikTok and seeing what everyone does now, and like wanting to be like them. And do you know, I was on a job over a year ago, and this young girl said to me, and she was so young, she was a Gen Z, and she was born in 2001.
Ugh. Like,
which is
when Britney Spears was at the peak.
Yeah, exactly. I was 11 then, so like, I was, you know, no, I wasn't 11. No, I was 11.
I was listening to Britney Spears.
Yeah, I was.
Meanwhile, you were paying
I was an OG Britney listener.
Yeah.
Not that these young girls are like, oh my God, Britney.
No,
like,
they buy parachute pants in Urban Outfitters and they're like, look at this, it's groundbreaking. I just found it. I'm like, girl, I was there before.
I was getting them from Greetie Market and Liverpool, thank you very much.
Do you even know what Hot Topic is?
Absolutely, they do not.
Exactly, you know?
But this girl said to me, she's like, oh, Sarah, do you know who you just remind me of? And I was like, who? Thinking, like, I couldn't wait. And she's like, have you watched Mean Girls? And I was like, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, that was my era.
That was my era,
2003, thank you very much. I will remember those years well. And I was thinking, who is she going to say?
Oh my God, please do not.
She said that I was Regina George's mum. You know, when she's like, hey girls, what's the 411? Like she's like, oh, it's just, you're just like so like her. And I was like,
what was the reaction?
Oh, I was furious. I was like, Leah, you cannot say that to me.
No.
She was like, no. She just didn't understand how offensive it was to me. I was so offended. I was like,
it is offensive.
She was like, no, I mean it. Like, you're so like you're a hype woman. And I was like, babes, you
tell me I'm Regina, not the mom.
Exactly. Like, as if you told me I'm somebody's mother.
Insulting. Insulting. Well, somebody told me not long ago, they were like, yeah, I mean, she's a mom. I mean, no, you're a cool mom. Don't get me wrong. I was like, that's it. Like,
you just feel irrelevant, don't you?
Yeah.
So I just don't know if I can be a makeup artist forever. Will I be getting booked at 50?
Probably.
Who knows?
I
don't know. Is there a life shelf? Is there a shelf life on this?
I feel like there's a bit of a shelf life because I don't know how long you can take the pressure and that constant struggle of like, am I doing enough? Am I relevant enough? Am I like gonna get booked? Like the stress is
really
endless.
Like being on top of like what's current.
Yeah,
is hard.
Babe, like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, today I've got to post 3 TikToks. I've got to post on Instagram. I've got to interact in the stories. I've got to answer to like literally 150,000 emails. I've got to do my accounting. I've got to do.
There's a lot of jobs.
Then you're like, I've got to go to the gym because gravity, my friend, is here.
Well, the gym is my first priority of the day.
Is it? Do you go every day?
Every day. Every day. 7 days a week.
Wow.
I know, I should be really thin, but I'm not. No, that's a joke. But I go for the mental health.
Yeah.
The hour in the gym is the 1 hour of yours a day. And you've got 24 hours to find time to just have an hour of it to yourself. So like I will get up an hour earlier and go. Even when I'm tired and don't want to
I'm trying to think like, what's my time? Okay, so I try to go to the gym 5 days a week. I sometimes do 5 days a week for 2 months, and then for 2 months I go like once a week. Okay. But realistically, what's my time? I
do think
when I get off on myself, it's my time.
I know. It's hard. You've got a lot more responsibilities than me. You're a mum. You've got a child to look after, and I don't. I've just got me, myself.
Do you know? I'll tell you one thing about becoming a mom. It's like before you're a mom, you don't think about this, and it's really ridiculous, but going to the toilet in peace, like taking a piss in peace, does not exist anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Privacy is no more.
Privacy is no more.
Privacy anymore?
There's no more privacy.
Well, I've got 2 nieces, so I can't fully relate.
Yeah.
But I do get
you
it.
can relate.
Yeah, Charlotte, who's 4, she's my twin sister.
I love that.
She's me, but as a little person, and
I love that.
She just wants to be on my hip constantly when I'm with her. Auntie Sarah, what's this? Auntie Sarah, what's this? Auntie Sarah, can we go here? Auntie Sarah. So when I'm at that house with her, whenever we're together,
So you understand.
There's no peace involved, and sometimes I just pretend to be asleep in the
Oh,
bed.
yeah.
So
I do that, but then he goes, Mama, wake up.
Oh, they're so cute, though, aren't they?
I know, and then he tries to open your eyes like that, and
And
you're like,
that's-
oh my god,
That's not cute.
that's not cute.
When you
no.
are trying to sleep.
No.
But I wonder if there is a shelf life to being in this industry. I think you just evolve. That's what I'm going to say.
You know, it's like there has to be a shelf life everywhere in this
Yeah.
industry, I think, because when you work with pop stars, like the main issue most of the time is, are they relevant? And like when they release like a new album, they're like, the label's like, we just need them to be like current and, you know, people relate to them and reinvent themselves. Like, how many times in your life can you reinvent yourself? Like, how is it not enough to be yourself?
And also the industry has changed so much now that like what was relevant for them at one time is like no longer relevant for them at this next time, and then it almost becomes like they're changing brands every time. It's like a whole rebrand for these artists, and like that's not relatable to
but
the
I think
audience.
like it's like if you think of Prince, like he didn't rebrand himself.
No, it was so
He was
different
Prince
back then.
You know, like
all of the big stars really. Beyonce's like probably never.
She's reinvented herself, but she's not rebranded herself. She's the brand.
She's evolved with her brand. Like that's always remained the same, I think.
Do you have a dream person you did makeup for?
Changes all the time. Do you know my guilty pleasure of watching? Well, it's not even a guilty pleasure. I'm not embarrassed about it whatsoever. But I love The Real Housewives.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you know I shot 2 of them.
Yeah, I did, and this is one thing that I text my friend who was also a stan, and I was like, "Do you know that Adele's worked with Teresa Giudice?"
I was obsessed.
No, I'm obsessed.
Obsessed. I just wanted her to arrive and be like, "I want a coffee." And she did.
Joey,
I was like, can you repeat that, please?
No, because like, I just love her. I watched it last night. No, there is not one franchise that I didn't watch.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with them all. So for a long time, it was Erica Jane.
Oh, yeah.
But since the Orphans and Widows, no more.
Yeah.
So I don't know anymore if I've got one. Do you know who was one of my dream clients to have years ago? Was Becky Hill.
No way. No way.
She was.
She's a dream girl to work with.
Yeah, she's always looks great. Her style's always great.
Thank you.
She always looks like having fun.
I think it's we like to have fun with styling. Like she's not someone that's gonna be like, just put me in a black dress and here we go. She's like, no, I want to be like fun and I want to be like myself.
Yeah, and it shows.
Yeah,
it shows. Having a great time.
I think she is. We're preparing some like amazing stuff at the minute.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
You must tell me.
Can't wait for you to see.
You must tell me more. But who is your other housewife that you've worked with? Then you've worked with 2.
Melissa Gorga.
On display. That's a song. I love her.
She's iconic as well.
She literally thinks.
And it was funny because we shot them together that day.
What was the feud like?
Well, I was expecting the feud, and there was no feud. They were really cordial towards one another, and they were not mean towards one another at all.
And was Teresa not saying things about her behind her back?
No, nothing. Teresa was just out of jail at the time. Yeah, it was at that time. And I remember like my assistants, like we had assistants and interns and stuff, and it was like I was just coming out of filming America's Next Top Model for like a month and a half or 2 months, and we were exhausted, and it was the day of my birthday on the 31st of August. It was in New York. It was just like I was about to fly back to the UK. It's just like the whole thing. I was like done with the summer of work, and it was the only day that they could shoot, and I was like, let's make it work. And it was for Paper Magazine. Shout out to Paper Magazine, who just closed down a week ago. Like so sad. And so Mickey Boardman made the shoot happen because he knew I was obsessed with them. I was like, I just really want to shoot them. And Charlie Chops, Charlotte's Rutherford, shot them. And basically where we did the shoot was really close to the hotel. Like the hotel we shot was really close to the offices of Paper Magazine. So the interns rolled down the racks of clothes, and my first assistant was like, we're just gonna make sure that everything is there. And then a week after, she wakes up like, we're missing, like, I think it was Simon Rocha or something like that. And basically, like, one of the boxes was at the bottom of one of the racks, and they were rolling them down the street, and it appears that it fell down. And so an entire box of clothes was lost. And it was an entire fucking story, like, it, like, never ending. No. With the PR. And so I remember, I don't know what I remember more, the shoot, the girls, or the drama that followed with that box.
I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh my god, there was so much fucking shit to unpack as well, in general.
I'm obsessed with them now.
It's like, we shot Pia Mia that same year. I was also obsessed with her.
I mean, that is great, but to me, nothing's beaten.
I know, but she was, babe, like, the body was
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Like, she made me want to get all the plastic surgery in the world. I still want to do it. I'm just like a chicken.
Oh, I'm a big pussy.
Oh, yeah.
Way. Yeah, like, I say that if I won the lottery, I'd be getting X, Y, Z done, but I know I wouldn't. I'm just too scared. I get lip filler done, and I'm like, I come out crying.
Yeah. You should see me. I'm like, is it gonna hurt? Is it gonna hurt? Oh. And then they're like, you're full of tattoos. I'm like, I know, but is it gonna hurt?
This is different.
What's the side effect? Am I gonna become blind? And they're like, no, you're not. You're like, what the fuck? Like, we can just like not do anything. I'm like, no, do it.
Yes, that's the other thing. So the last time I've had my lips done, I remember I was like, I just want a bit of a, you know, like, nothing major. I didn't need like loads putting back in, but she was like, you don't really need anything. You could like not have it done. And I was like, oh no, I'm here now. Get that Delta block in there, babes, and fill these bad boys up. But that is like probably the only thing I'll get. I don't know. Would I get? Oh, I don't know. If I was rich enough, I probably would.
I think I'll end up getting a lifting or some shit like that.
There's this guy I'm obsessed with looking at this surgeon in London. He's amazing. My friend went to him last year for...
What's his name?
Dan Cook, I think. Dan Marsh or Dan Cook.
I go to Ali Ghanem, the Ghanem clinic.
Oh,
they're fucking iconic.
Really?
Yeah.
So what are we getting done? Or are we not talking about what the procedures?
So what are we getting
because
done?
I think you look so great, but I would never have thought that you've had any work done.
I've had laser on my face, like rejuvenation laser, aerolase. And then I've had lip fillers, but I've dissolved them. And then I've had jaw fillers a long time ago, but I hated it and they're gone. And then I'm having Botox.
So I've stopped having the Botox because...
I haven't had it in a long time, but...
I mean, I don't think you even need it.
It's it.
Yours are really not bad. I'm just too expressive.
I am as well. He was like, just don't smile. I'm like,
oh, well, that's a miserable life.
Yeah.
I just need to lift my eyebrows up when I'm putting mascara on.
Yeah.
And I do not like the feeling of having to lift the brow to do it.
Would you get an eye lift?
No. Well, maybe. Now I'm thinking, should I?
No. You don't need it yet.
Maybe.
But I mean, like, at the minute, everything is so unrealistic. Like, everybody's so fucking skinny. Like,
the beauty standards. What have we done to ourselves? What have we done to ourselves? Why can't we just look how we are meant to look and enjoy it? But
like, I was really skinny when I was younger, and I remember I look back and I was like, oh my god, I had that banging body. Like, I would fuck myself, you know.
Did you feel skinny at the time? Did you feel good about yourself when you were that skinny?
No, I didn't. Even like, I went through a phase where I was really anorexic, and I really like 39 kilos, which is like
so thin, like on the verge of being like hospitalized for it. I didn't feel skinny. Didn't you?
No.
Were your family and friends worried?
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah.
And then how did you manage to like come into a healthier way of life?
Because I was really depressed at the time, and I had like a really toxic relationship, and it was like so like a really toxic
and one
breakup.
Feels the other, doesn't it? Really?
Exactly. And I felt so like everything was so out of control, and I was working so much, and I think I just was never hungry because I was too stressed and too anxious. And being anxious made me feel really sick all the time. So I just couldn't eat. So I was like, I'm just not going to eat. But then I would feel like cold. And like there were loads of side effects. And I think at some point I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, well, actually what's happening to you is like you're having heart palpitations because you're too skinny. So your body is like not functioning right. Yeah. And like the end of my fingers were like always like either really white or a little bit blue. It was like the whole thing was wrong. Yeah. Like, and I was losing my hair. And I remember like when I was losing my hair, I was like, something needs to change.
That was the click.
That was the click. And then I start eating, like forcing myself and like just trying to be a bit more healthy. And what I did, especially to be more healthy, is I moved out of the city I was living in and I moved to Spain.
Really?
Yeah. I moved to Spain and I changed phone number.
That is.
And that helped.
That is like the most iconic way to just.
And this guy was a fucking psycho. And he was a psycho again after with other people.
Was he? Was this when you lived in France?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before you worked were you working in fashion then?
I was studying and already working, yeah.
So, isn't it funny then that you work in the fashion industry, like fully in the fashion industry where there's so many things like that, but it's never, I mean, amazing. Just doesn't resurface.
No.
That's like really good. What's the word?
But you know, it's funny because I was talking to a friend and he was like, I don't really know how it came about, but we were talking about like what we're doing and everything, and he was like, "Are you happy in your life?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually happy in my life." And he was like, "You know, it's funny because when you were 17 and we were in high school, you were saying I want to do this, that. I don't know if you realized, but you've done everything you wanted to."
Oh my god!
And I was like, actually, yeah, you're right. I just feel like I need to do so much more because it's never enough. I think that's the problem.
The goalposts just always move.
Yeah.
Like, do you even like look back on things that you've done and think, oh yeah, I've achieved everything that I set out to do when I was that young?
Yeah.
Do you ever like sit and think about it and think, oh, I'm glad that I've done?
Yeah.
Or do you just keep going? Because I never
I have moments. I'm like, it's funny. I always have those moments when I'm in a car on the way back from a shoot. Like they happen maybe twice a year, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm really lucky actually.
Oh.
But no, I kind of like focus on the fact of what I haven't done or what I should do or what's not working well, and I guess it's the same for you.
Yeah, just constantly just thinking about what you want to do in the future rather than what you've done in the past.
Yeah.
That's funny, isn't it?
What do you want to do in the future?
Well, I have been thinking about going into copywriting.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it now for a while. So I went to uni and did English and drama, but then never used the degree because I just went straight into makeup straight away. But recently I just feel like there's just something to, I don't know, I just want to explore it really. I love like social media, like watching people on TikTok and things like that, and I'm so interested by content creators. Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily want to be one.
Would you do content like copywriting for content creators?
Yeah. So that's what I've been thinking about doing.
That's a great thing.
But I just don't really know where to start. But whoever does.
Whoever does. I think it always comes. It always ends up coming.
Yeah. So it's been on my mind for a couple of months now.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I just think, put the makeup brushes down for a few days.
But also it's like, when you have those quiet moments, because we all have them as freelance.
Oh, well, I'm going through one now.
Moment.
Yeah, and I think that's why I've been thinking about it more and more recently, because I've been a little bit more quiet than... The industry is just... The fashion industry is dying.
Savage. It's savage.
There's a big noticeable shift, I think, now.
Yeah.
Fast fashion needs to go.
Yeah, but do you know what's really interesting is like I can see brands are also a little bit less interested by influencers than what they used to be. They think a lot more before they invest in influencers.
Massively. And do you know what's funny is that I used to work with influencers like years ago doing makeup for them, and I would get asked all the time to do makeup for free for a post.
I know. I'm like, girl, I don't want to do anything for free.
I know, but there was one time where that was like a really good form of payment.
Yeah.
Like getting somebody to post your makeup on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you get like loads of followers, and that's just not a thing anymore.
No.
And I think now you're a bit like, but babes, that's just not going to do my weekly shopping at M&S.
No, and I also think that it's a bit more like how many followers you have nowadays is a little bit more irrelevant because people care about the engagement, not so much about the followers.
People are more focused on, I think on TikTok as well. I don't think it's even that you don't even need to have a lot of followers on there to do well and to get brand deals and things like that. No. And then another friend was telling me the other day about UGC, user generated content, and she's a content creator for that. So it's not even stuff that she posts on her own channels.
So what does she do?
So she takes the content and then sends it to the brands, and then they post it, and she's paid well for that. So
does she have a lot of followers?
No, because you don't post it on your own social media. So
And how does she get in touch with those people? I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like, let me get the notebook and write down.
So I think it's called so you'll find videos on TikTok on it, but it's called user generated USG.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? UCG? UGC. So I've seen loads of TikTok accounts where there are things that are posted and it's like John Smith UGC or UCG, whatever the word is. And so that's their like profile to show brands what they can do, like their portfolio. And the brands get in touch with those profiles. But having that in their username and in like the captions and whatever else is what's driving the traffic from the brand to the content creator.
Should we quit everything and start doing that? Do
because
you think
I
you
get
can be a
annoyed.
millionaire? Because I've started doing trades. Like trading.
Have you?
Yeah, because
Stocks
one of
and
my
shares?
assistants, you buy and sell currencies. One of my assistants does that. So like I am so shit at it because I have like no risk assessment. So I'll put like a risk assessment really high, and then I'll make a lot of money one day, and then I'll lose a lot of money another day.
Oh, really?
So I think like this is not working for me. I need to find something else.
Maybe we could be I don't even know which way around the letters go, but like we'll just be UCGs, user generated content. I don't know how it is, but yeah,
I would be great at doing bad reviews.
Yeah, and I also think like sometimes I get really annoyed by watching some TikToks.
Yeah,
you know, like that. I just don't think they had potential and they just didn't really fulfill
what I wanted.
You know, they could have done it better. And I think when you've worked in our industry for a long time, you know how things should be executed.
Yes.
And it's frustrating to see other people not execute them well at all. But just me thinking I can do everyone's job. Literally go to the hairdresser. I'm like, she's doing my highlights. I'm like, that needs to be finer. Like, I think I know better than her. And I'm like,
I'm the same though. I'm like, but then at the same time, I'm like, you know your job better, do it. But I can tell you if I don't like it.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time to get to that place. My hairdresser is my best friend and she humours me a lot. She's like, yeah, I will. And just obviously just does what she wants. Yeah. And at the end, I'm like, see, I told you it looks so much better now. And she's like,
oh my God.
But that's just life, isn't it?
Sarah, thank you so much for coming on today. Would you come back?
Yes, absolutely.
Yay.
Anytime, ask me. What a great chat we've had.
Yeah.
It's flown by. Has that been the 40
It
minutes?
has, isn't it? Maybe you have a future in podcast. Fuck makeup.
Fuck it off. I'll just get a camera, a light and set up. I'll just come and live in here.
Yeah.
And get the
start
podcast
vlogging.
going. I love them.
I'm sure you could find out a lot of gossip being in here the whole day.
Oh, if
100%.
These walls had ears.
If these walls could talk,
what would they say?
They would say, so if they could show stuff, they would show a lot of naked people, because the first thing you do when you come for a fitting is get undressed. If they could talk, they would spill an insane amount of tea on the industry and relationships.
Yeah, the relationships. It's always the biggest gossip factor, isn't it?
It is.
We love to hear it though.
Next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. Bye.